Will Ferrari continue their dominance this race weekend, or will Mercedes bounce back? Also, will Red Bull be as fast as they were in Monaco, and is the podium on for them this race weekend as well? All these questions will be answered as we move to Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix 2017. The circuit in Montreal is called Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It is situated on a man-made island called Ile Notre Dame, and groundhogs are a pretty common phenomenon over here, and sometimes they do get onto the track as well, so that's a very close situation for the drivers to keep an eye on these groundhogs. It has a street circuit-like appearance with walls pretty close to the curbs on the outside of the turn. You see lots of drivers touching the outside of the curbs, that is the walls, throughout the weekend. It has two long straights for overtaking, and turn 1 as well as the infamous Wall of Champions have caused a lot of retirements over the years. So if you want to look at those virtual circuit guide, it is in the description as well as over the top over here. So please do look at the circuit guide if you want to look at the circuit in detail. Drivers have got their maiden victories in Formula 1 on this circuit. Among those 6 are Hamilton as well as Ricciardo. Hamilton interestingly won it 10 years back, exactly 10 years back, where he got pole as well as the win, as well as Ricciardo, who got it in 2014. This circuit staged the longest ever Formula 1 Grand Prix, that was about 4 hours 49 minutes long, and it was Jenson Button who won it in 2011 after he was practically last at 30 laps to go, and he overtook the race leader Sebastian Vettel on the last lap to get the victory, and it was a superb victory for McLaren and for Jenson Button. Current drivers who have won here once are Ricciardo, as I told you, in 2014, Vettel in 2013, Alonso in 2006 with Renault, and Raikkonen in 2005 with McLaren. Hamilton here has a record of 5 victories and is just behind Michael Schumacher, who's got 7 victories over here, and that's a record. So hopefully Hamilton is prime when he gets 2 years later, and probably he can match or even overhaul that record. We are talking about one more record over here. There's only one pole position left for Hamilton to match the legend Ayrton Senna to 65 career pole positions. That is just second highest to 68 career pole positions that Michael Schumacher has got. So that's a record that may be broken this weekend. Let us see who has got the pole position this year, and let us find out in the qualifying section.
Just me and my guitar.
In Q1, pretty natural, all the cars go out on the track to do their fast laps. Interestingly, Ferrari is the only team to go out on super soft, whereas the whole field have gone for the ultra soft as the fastest of the tire. Even after that, Ferrari have been able to get 3rd and maybe 8th position. That was just 0.3 seconds slower and 0.8 seconds slower for Vettel and Raikkonen from Bottas. That was the fastest in Q1. So they have effectively saved a set of ultra softs for the later stages of the qualifying, Q2 and Q3. So maybe that's going to be a strategic element, and maybe they have a really good push at the end for the pole position. So local hero not looking good, Lance Stroll not looking good in Canada. He was down in P15, just on the bubble, and he would be knocked out easily. Alonso looking good after his comeback and good enough to qualify into Q2. So he's been doing pretty well. His practice was not good. FP1 was really bad exit for him because of a gearbox failure. But now he's certainly has good qualifying here, and he's set to go into Q2. Local hero Lance Stroll has been displaced by Stoffel Vandoorne, and Stoffel Vandoorne soon has been replaced by Jolyon Palmer. So Jolyon Palmer goes through and Stoffel Vandoorne again misses out, just misses out into going into Q2. Now at the end of Q1, Verline, he's trying to go for a very fast lap, and going down into turn 1, he just gets a little bit too greedy and goes onto the grass, applies the brakes, and of course car just spins around and goes into the barriers, losing the rear wing and bringing out yellow flags. So effectively there's no improvements allowed for the last run. So we have the drivers who have been eliminated, that is Stoffel Vandoorne in P16, Lance Stroll P17, Kevin Magnussen, a Haas, out in Q1, and P19 was Marcus Ericsson, and the last position P20 going to Pascal Wehrlein. So let us look into Q2 now. All the cars go out again for another flying lap, and Hamilton goes fastest with a 1 minute 12.496. That's the fastest lap of the weekend so far, and that was a lap that took everyone's breath away. Raikkonen was currently second, Bottas third, Vettel fourth, and he was about 0.2 seconds slower than Hamilton because he had a moment at turn 4, I think. So a bit of a gap to Hamilton. 5th and 6th were the Red Bulls. They were pretty secure. Ricardo, who was ahead of Verstappen. Massa is ahead of both the Force Indias, Perez and Ocon, and Hülkenberg completes the top 10. So in the first runs, that is. So now let's look at what happened in the second runs. Hamilton doesn't improve on his second run, so effectively the tire that he used before is going to be the race tire that he's going to start the race on. So not improving, but Bottas improved, so he's going to start on these second run tires. So yeah, as I told you, it was in Q2 the fastest time that you set on the tires on which the fastest time you set on are going to be the race set, the set on which you start the race on. So you need to be pretty careful not to flat spot those tires, and Hamilton did not improve, so he's using the first runs tires, and Bottas using the second runs. Hülkenberg improves and still is on P10, so he improves but he still is on P10. Maybe he might be displaced by one of the guys who were in the drop zone. Unfortunately for Kvyat suffered a right rear puncture. He collided into the walls after turn 8-9, that the chicane at turn 8-9. So he collided with the wall, and it was game over for him. He was out in P11, followed by P12. That was Alonso, who improved on his second runs. P13 was the second Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz Jr. P14 was Romain Grosjean, the second Haas, which is gone in Q2 as well. Now Palmer is the last car who gets eliminated. So P15 for Palmer. Let us look at what happened in Q3 now. In Q3, Vettel goes out pretty early and does a 1 minute 12.423. That was faster than Hamilton's time, but Hamilton improves his time much better than the previous one, and oh boy was that a lap. 1 minute 11.791, and that's a lap record at the circuit, the Gilles Villeneuve. So Raikkonen goes faster than his teammate and into P2. He's displaced shortly by Bottas, who goes 1 minute 12.1 seconds. So it is going on between the top 4. It's been there throughout the last 6 race weekends as well. So the top 4 are pretty close to each other. Mercedes look very, very fast, and they are really flying away right now. And looks like a front row lockout is on the cards for them this weekend. Verstappen is currently 5th, Ricciardo 6th, Massa, then Perez, Ocon and Hülkenberg after the first runs. Vettel goes second fastest again. He improves on his second run. He does 3 runs because he saved a set in Q1 where he did a super soft. So on his second run he goes second fastest, and just 4 thousandths of a second, and that was pretty close to Hamilton's time of 1 minute 11.791, as I told you. So it was just 4 thousandths of a second slower than Hamilton's time, and you would have listened to the crowd over there. It was like, oh, that was a big cheer over there. And Lewis Hamilton improves even more. So he another lap record, and that was a 1 minute 11.459, and that's the lap. That is about 1.8 to 2 seconds faster than last year's pole lap. So it's superb and pretty good achievement by Hamilton. I think it's done and dusted. Pole position has been done. The best thing that Ferrari could hope for now is a front row start, and that will be with Vettel, because Vettel goes P2 and Bottas couldn't improve on his second run. So Vettel goes P2 and Bottas is P3, and P4 is Kimi Raikkonen, who didn't look pretty comfortable this weekend. So he goes into P3. And what a way to get a pole lap done, and that was a 10-year anniversary of his victory. That he had a pole, his maiden pole and victory over here 10 years back in Montreal, and what a way to get his pole. That is the 65th career pole, and he matches the legend Ayrton Senna in getting the career poles, and he's just second to Michael Schumacher, who's having 68. So pretty possible that we see another legend being made over here and a record being broken pretty soon, hopefully. And Lewis Hamilton just soaking in the moment, and he's got from the Senna family, he's got a very, very good gift, and that is Ayrton Senna's race worn helmet. And you would have seen, you just look at his expression over here, and he just drops the bottle which he was having a drink. He probably was dehydrated and he was having some drinks. He just threw the bottle away, and what a way to match your idol it was. He's shown so much respect for Ayrton Senna over the years, and now he has done it. He has matched his idol, and possibly he might be the greatest pole qualifier after getting after overhauling Michael Schumacher, maybe. So pretty good stuff over here, and hopefully Hamilton can convert it tomorrow. But the thing is, both the world championship rivals are there on the front row. That is Vettel in P2 and P1 is Hamilton. Now let us look at the predictions. My predictions for tomorrow's race are, I think Hamilton can do it, and I think he will do it. So hopefully get his 6th victory in Canada with tomorrow's race, and he will go on to P1. P2 will be Sebastian Vettel, his championship rival. He has to keep it safe, and he has to be there so that he saves his championship advantage. Then it will be Bottas who will be rounding out the podium for me. 4th will be Daniel Ricciardo. So I hope that Red Bull can show a bit of pace. And P5 I predict Kimi Raikkonen. P6 will be Verstappen. P7 will be Massa. P8 will be Sergio Perez. P9 ever consistent Nico Hülkenberg, and P10 Carlos Sainz Jr. So these are my predictions. It's my personal view. What are your views? And I want to know what is your prediction for tomorrow's race. And if you do like the video, please do like and subscribe over here. I have a button over here, so please do subscribe. And I will be back with the race review tomorrow. See you later. Bye.